This article is from Premier Christianity, the UK's leading Christian magazine. Same-sex spaces aren't a matter of faith, but safety. And that's what it is. Matter of safety. Safety for whom? Safety for women. Safety for girls. And this is now what we're witnessing. We are witnessing all the women's rights that they have chained themselves to railings over the past decades, over the past century or more. As they have chained themselves to railings, it's all being undone. All that chaining is being undone. And it's no longer about women's rights, but it's about men's rights. Men who want to claim they're a fake woman. Remember, trans equals fake. So in order to understand what they're on about, because the change in definitions, we need to understand that trans woman is a biological male claiming to be a woman, fake woman. And the same with the trans man. That is a fake man, biological woman claiming to be a man. So trans equals fake. That's the only way you'll understand it. It's all definitions. It's all about trying to confuse you and confuse everything in order for them to be able to just point fingers at you and say you're this and you're that. And what they're doing, these are men abusing and mutilating women. And now, even in sports, they're taking over women's sports because these are evil people. Evil people. Remember, it's about your daughters, your mothers, your sisters, your nieces, your great nieces. It's about your granddaughters. These mutilators of the flesh are out there and they're coming for your children and your female family members and your female street members, your neighbours. They want them. They want them. And how dare you say anything against it? How dare you, you transphobe, you hater, you hater you, you hater. The alleged sexual assault of a teenage girl in a gender-neutral secondary school toilet isn't surprising. It's happened in prisons. Rapists have gone into women's wards with the NHS allowing them to go on there, and they've raped women or a woman. I've done an article on that one. Says Caroline Farrow, but it should remind our government why new school guidance is urgently needed. I'll give you the school guidance. If you're a biological male, get out of the biological female's toilet. Get out! Get out! That's the way to do it. A teenage boy has reportedly been arrested and a police investigation launched after four incidents, folks. Not one, 4 of alleged sexual assault, 3 of which are said to have taken place in gender-neutral toilets at a school in Essex. The boy, who was under 16, has been bailed with conditions. You know, this child's parents are responsible also, as well as the government, as well as the school boards, as well as the councils, as well as the education system, because he's a minor. And they've encouraged him to pretend to be a girl when he's a male. And isn't it amazing? He's pretending to be a girl, but at the same time, he wants to sexually abuse females, biological females. Dear me. The boy, who was under 16, has been bailed with conditions, and Essex County Council have confirmed that they are working with school leaders and the police on a safeguarding matter while inquiries continue. Now, with the lady who was raped in the hospital ward by the fake woman, the trans woman, they said, no, it couldn't have happened because there were no men in the ward. And the same here. I'm surprised they didn't turn around and say, oh, no, 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 no. There are no men allowed in this toilet. There are no men allowed in this toilet. It couldn't have happened. Can you see the insanity of this? As this is a live investigation, the police have not been able to disclose any further details, including the name of the school, but this incident demonstrates precisely why parents and women's groups have been protesting so vociferously over the way in which schools have enthusiastically embraced gender theory. Yes, the insanity, and you need to stand up to this, folks. Stop bowing down to them. Stop taking it on the chin. Okay? Because you're down on the ground, you're out for 10. You need to get up off the mat and start swinging, start throwing, because these will enslave you into their insanity. Don't believe the lie. Don't believe the deception. This is pure evil. The anger, especially from Christians, is not just that children are being forced to accept false notions about gender fluidity that stand in direct opposition to their faith, but also that these ideas have the potential to cause real harm. Almost 90% of reported sexual assaults, harassments and voyeurism happen in unisex facilities. Yep. There you go, folks. As far back as in 2014, a primary school in New Haven introduced gender-neutral toilets in a bid to counter transphobia. Oh, my word. Parents were rightly horrified, reporting that their 7-year-old girls didn't feel comfortable using the same toilets as 11-year-old boys. It's hardly surprising little girls should not be forced to share intimate spaces with boys on the cusp of puberty and who have probably already viewed pornography. And remember, folks, what do they encourage you? They encourage families, when they get to a certain age, put your little daughter in a separate room to your little boy. Okay, there's a reason for that. But now in the school system, they're mixing them all together. Because there are parents who are allowing their little children to claim that they're fake boys or fake girls or fake men or fake women. The ability to access single-sex toilets is a fundamental issue of privacy and dignity for all pupils. And it goes on there, proponents of single-sex facilities are held out to be hateful bigots or Christian prudes. I recognise, according to them, I'm a Christian prude. I recognise I'm a hateful bigot. I recognise that. But to that little girl, to my sister, to my mother, to my granddaughter, to my nieces, I'm the only one wearing a bloody cape protecting them. It's no surprise to hear of reports of girls in schools with gender-neutral idiots. See, they're idiots on my mind. I'll say that again. It's no surprise to hear of reports of girls in schools with gender-neutral toilets restricting their liquid intake, potentially risking bladder infections and kidney damage to avoid having to go to the loo. If the toilets are being colonised by a large group of either sex, this will be off-putting to a member of the opposite sex who wants to use them. Parents at one primary school in Scotland expressed their outrage that since their school toilets have become mixed sex and urinals were removed, boys were urinating in the sinks rather than waiting to use the stalls. Dear me. A recipe for disaster. Thanks to the ubiquity of mobile phones and the content of the RSC curriculum, today's generation of children has become sexualised even before they've embarked upon puberty. Yes, they're sending these perverts into the schools to shake their asses in front of little girls and little boys. Men dressed as women. Yes, men dressed as women. And you're sitting there thinking, well, what's the problem? You're just a transphobe. Wake up! For generations, educators have recognised that putting adolescent boys and girls with raging hormones, together in mixed toilets or dormitories is a recipe for disaster. But now, gender ideology has made schools throw common sense and centuries of Christian wisdom out of the window. What school leaders and parents alike must remember is that the Equality Act does allow schools to install single-sex facilities, because sex is also a protected characteristic alongside gender reassignment, and there can be no doubt that girls are being disproportionately disadvantaged when those spaces are not protected. As recent cases have shown, the risks of sexual violence or harassment in gender-neutral facilities is real, and ensuring the safety of girls who make up half of our school population should be a priority. Let us hope that the long-awaited government guidance for schools on transgender issues makes this legal position clear. Come on, are you still one of those? You need to, transition out of that thinking. In fact, really you should be embarrassed you've allowed yourself to be transitioned into that kind of thinking. That men can be women and women can be men. If I want to be a woman, I want to be a man, and you're a hater if you don't allow me to do that. Well, I'm sorry. You were given a biological sex at birth. Male, female. Male, female. That's what it is. And your little fetishes, your little perversions are not in line with reality, are they? You are denying science. You are denying the natural laws of the universe. You are denying biology. You are a depraved mind if you think this is acceptable, of a depraved mind. And you need to repent. Jesus Christ said, repent and believe in the good news. What is the good news? The good news is Jesus Christ. We're all sinners and we've all fallen short of the standard of God. We all need to repent of our sin, our disobedience to God's laws. This is clearly one of them. Disobedience to God's laws. Disobedience to the biological sex that God has assigned each of us. And we're saying to God, I hate you. I hate what you've done. I'm going to rebel. We're all sinners. We've all rebelled. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the standard of God. We must repent, as Jesus said, and believe in him. Believe in him, because there's coming a day of judgment. A day of judgment. And if God's wrath still remains on you because you haven't repented and believed in Jesus Christ, and he took upon that God's wrath upon himself for his people 2,000 years ago. If God's wrath still remains on you and not on Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, then God's wrath still remains on you. And you will be judged according to your works. Judged according to your works, which fall short of the standard of God. We're all sinners. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, believe in your heart God raised him from the dead, repent and believe in the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ, you will be saved. Saved from what? The wrath of God. The wrath of God is coming upon the whole world. For rejecting Jesus Christ, for rejecting God. The natural laws of the universe demonstrate to us that God is alive, that God created all things. And each of us have gone our own stupid ways. We're all sinners. I keep saying it. None of us are not fallen short of the standard of God. But we can be made right with God, but only through Jesus Christ's works, not our own. Our good works, not good enough, I'm afraid. God has announced that. Your works, no good. It's all about Jesus' works. Time to repent. Believe in the good news of Jesus Christ, as Jesus said himself.